In this video, we're going to talk about aspect and imperfective and perfective pairs. Normally in your textbook, when a verb is listed, it's listed in this order: imperfective first and then perfective second. Unfortunately, you can't always tell by looking at a verb whether it's imperfective or perfective. But there are some tips for telling when you know both of the pair. You can figure out sometimes which one is imperfective and which one is perfective. So in this video, we're going to give you some of those rules of thumb. They're not perfect, they're not 100%. And even when you know these, if you only know one of the pair, it can be difficult to figure out which aspect it is. But let's take a look at some of these kind of rules of thumb. So the first and easiest one is that many pairs are made with prefixes. So we have делать, сделать, читать, прочитать, писать, написать, готовить, приготовить, слушать, послушать, звонить, позвонить. And in almost all cases, we can't say all, but almost all cases, you can make a really good educated guess that if you have a pair like this, where one doesn't have a prefix and one has a prefix, the one without the prefix is imperfective, and the one with the prefix is perfective. It's not 100% true, but it can be a rule of thumb. You can also have infixes, and what do I mean by that? Like, for example, here, if you compare these two verbs, заказывать and заказать, they're similar except for that this one has an infix. Verbs that have infixes in one of the pair, the one with the infix tends to be imperfective. So, заказывать, заказать, открывать, открыть, опаздывать, опоздать, начинать, начать, забывать, забыть. So you can see here, 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 some of these infixes that have been put into the middle of the verb. Sometimes you'll see a conjugation change. So the verb will be very similar except for the ending. So you can see повторять, повторить, отвечать, ответить, покупать, купить, решать, решить. When you see a pair like this, you can make a guess that the one ending in at or yat is imperfective, and the one ending in it is perfective. Again, this is not 100%, and if you only have one of the two verbs, then it's really difficult to tell. So if you only knew one and it ended in at, you would not necessarily be able to tell whether it was imperfective or perfective. But if you see both, and one ends in at and one ends in it, you can make a guess that at imperfective, it perfective. Sometimes you'll see verbs that just have different roots, like говорить and сказать. Говорить is imperfective, сказать is perfective. Why does the pair look so different? Because they're from different roots. But говорить and сказать are really considered the same verb, two aspects of the same verb. Similarly, verb to take, брать, imperfective, versus взять, perfective. So here we have a list of verbs. Some of them are out of order. So what you have to do is decide. First, we're going to decide which of these kind of methods have we used to make a pair. Is it prefix? Is it infix? Is it conjugation? Or could it be different roots? So try that first. Look at the pair. Decide which of those methods we're using to determine the pair. Встречать, встретить, a conjugation change. Пить, выпить, obviously it's got a prefix. Рассказать, рассказывать. In here we see the infix. Сдать, сдавать, an infix. Болеть, заболеть. Here we have the prefix. And поступить, поступать. We have a change in the conjugation, at and it. Now, go through these pairs and figure out which of the pair is imperfective and which is perfective. Here, встречать is imperfective. At versus it. Пить is imperfective because here, with выпить, we have the prefix added. In this pair, рассказывать is imperfective. It has the infix. Сдать, сдавать. Сдавать is imperfective. It has the infix. Болеть, заболеть. Болеть is imperfective because заболеть has the prefix. And then поступить, поступать. Here we have the imperfective. The at ending will be imperfective. So here you can see kind of boil down our rules. When you have a pair, when one of them has a prefix, the one with the prefix is perfective. When you have a pair and one of them has an infix, the infixed one is imperfective. And if you have at versus it, at will tend to be imperfective, it will be perfective.